Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Rambling RunOff. I am your host, Robert Rios, once again coming to you on the ones and twos for today's special podcast. Thank you for joining us again. And as always, I am joined with somebody very special. And today, our co-host and returning, was this 3 for 3 now, I believe. Unfortunately, not in person, face to face, but please give a round of applause for Mr. Danny Tan. Danny, say what's up to the people.
What up, everybody? What's going on?
Yes. Thank you, Danny, for joining us once again here on Rambling Runoff. We got a packed show for you guys today. We're gonna be going into some craziness that's happening in the sports world. We got some March Madness college basketball. We're gonna be going over some more soccer again, which is going to be somewhat of a jacked up episode in that section. And then in the rundown, we're going to go, the warm-up. I forgot how this works. The warm-up, we're going to be going over some more boxing. We got the possible setup for Fury versus Usyk. And then in the rundown, of course, we got a bunch of stuff. NWSL, NFL, XFL, whatever it is, it's in there. Check it out. Hope you guys are there until the end. But yeah, we got a stacked show for you guys today. But yeah, stick around. We'll see how this goes today. But Danny, before we start getting into the nitty gritty, how have you been, my boy?
I've been pretty good. Not too bad. Yeah, nothing to report. Haven't hit the golf course yet. It's been raining still. Nope. Not much. What about you, Robert?
Nothing much on my side either. Just going to work, trying to get this podcast off the ground again, which, by the way, thank you for everybody that's listened, checked out the podcast the past couple of days, this past week. I would say this, I know we tried doing better quality, better showing with the podcast, and I think it showed with the right amount of effort and posting and whatnot. I think the podcast did really well over the internet the past week. So thank you to everybody. If you've been listening on Stitcher, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Anchor, which is now Spotify for podcasters. Thank you, which we'll get into in a little bit. But yeah, thank you so much, everybody, for checking out the podcast. I don't know, Danny, what do you think of that? We got a good amount of listens last week.
Yeah, thank you for everyone tuning in, listening to this little rinky-dink show. Robert does his best. He makes it look a lot easier than it is. So thank you, everyone, for listening and all your support. Every listen helps a lot. Rating, liking, reviewing the podcast really helps out too. So yeah, thank you. I hope you guys continue to tune in.
I mean, it ain't easy, but as a lot of hip-hop artists like to say, pimpin' ain't easy.
Come on, man. You cheese, man. You're full of cheese.
I know, I'm joking. But yeah, thank you. Seriously though, thank you everybody for checking out the pod. Means a lot. I mean, especially now that Spotify has taken full control of Anchor, which of course it's always been under Spotify and ever since they purchased it. So yeah, now we got what is it called? What did I say? Spotify for podcasters or podcasters on Spotify. So yeah, if you've been checking us out on Anchor, yeah, that's where we're at now because they changed the name of the system. So yeah, thank you. And if you guys can, if possible, I know if you haven't yet on that Anchor, now Spotify for podcaster page, there is a listener support function. I don't care if you donate 99 cents. Anything helps. It's all the funds. Anything goes back to this podcast, making it better, making it run smoothly for myself especially. And if you don't want to do that, we're also on YouTube. Please subscribe, like the video. And by the way, that part is free. So if you can't do what I just said, listener support, check us out on YouTube. Subscribe there. That helps us out a lot too as well. Danny, you're gonna say something? All right, he's trolling me. All right, he just wanted me to look like a dummy. All right, cool, thanks. But anyways, trying to have a sincere moment. This guy goofs it all up for us. Thank you. But
No, thank you guys. Please, yeah, Any interaction is a good interaction. Review, like, rate, leave a comment, please. Yeah, or just let someone know. Like, hey, I found a 3 second clip. I thought these guys had an interesting point, or these guys have the dumbest point in the world. Listen to this here. Everything helps.
Yes, but thank you, everybody. But of course, we don't want to make you guys bored listening to us talk about whatever. How about we start getting into sports rambling, Danny? How's that sound?
Yeah, let's hop into it.
All right, so yeah, our first sports topic for today's show will be a little bit crazy, and I hope you guys are ready and buckled in. Some March Madness, some college basketball, Danny. So yes, NCAA college basketball March Madness is now underway as of this recording, and yeah, looking forward to this year's tourney. I've been told that a lot of good teams are in it, and yeah, I mean, just add to note, we will be only focusing on the men's side of the court. Uh, I'm not gonna say we know too much about college basketball, so we'll just focus on the men's side. But hey, shout out to Caitlin Clark from Iowa. I know I've been posting her here and there recently because of her play. She's really good, so shout out to her in the women's side. But yeah, we're gonna be focusing on the men's side for college basketball this time around. And like I said, we're no aficionados on college basketball. We're just doing this all for fun. Uh, like we've just always had a fondness for the tourney, trying to guess who's going to make it as far as they are. You know, ever since we were kids, I've known Danny for a while, and we've always kind of dabbled in college basketball. So that's why we're kind of talking about it now. So I hope you guys enjoy it as much as we do. So are you ready, Danny?
Yes, I'm ready. I've got my picks locked.
I know I heard, which I will call you out in a bit. So you get ready for that. But
Okay,
yes,
don't air it out.
I will air it out. I don't care. It's gonna be funny. But
Come on.
Danny, I did write down in my notes right here. Your UCI didn't make it, unfortunately.
No, they did not.
I know they got beat out by what is it, Fullerton?
Yeah,
Hey, at least
yep,
Santa Barbara made it.
yeah. One of the only state schools to make it.
Oh well. But yeah, just to give some background on the tournament itself, this version of the basketball competition officially tips off Tuesday night. True TV will be airing their games as usual with the first four contests in Dayton, Ohio. The four final tournament seeds will look to play their way into the primary 64 team field, with the first round action starting just days later. The first round of the NCAA tournament lasts from Thursday, March 16th to Friday, March 17th, with games airing across CBS, TBS, TNT, and True TV. The second round lasts across Saturday, March 18th and Sunday, March 19th, as the field gets whittled down to 16 teams. The Sweet 16 from March 23rd to March 24th, and the Elite 8, March 25th to the 26th, will be completed the following week with the Final Four set for Saturday, April 1st, not April Fools, in Houston. The national championship will be then held Monday, April 3rd, culminating the 2022-2023 college basketball season. So, yes, it should be a doozy of a time this next month. Danny, you said you just did your bracket. Who do you think will be doing good in this year's tournament?
Should I hop right into it? Should I reveal my final four?
Yes.
In my final four, I have Alabama, Duke, Texas, and Kansas.
Um.
There it is, folks. Locked in.
There you go, everybody. That's Danny's. What did you say? You had Alabama, Duke. What was
Kansas and what did I say? Kansas and
I don't know.
Texas. That's
You
right.
have your okay
Sorry.
Texas. You have your own bracket in front of you. Why are you asking me?
Yeah, I forgot.
On my side, my Final Four looks very different from Danny's, and hopefully, I guess Danny knows me very well. I do usually like to go against the grain in a lot of things, besides shaving.
Yep.
Hey, um,
Ha 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 ha.
in my Final Four, I have Maryland, Purdue, Iowa State, and as my underdog, I got VCU.
Oh, as your underdog, you got a lot of underdogs up there.
What are you talking about? This is a decent middle of the pack Final Four. What the hell are you talking about?
So you got Maryland, 8th seed. You got Purdue,
Purdue,
first
number
seed.
one,
Sure.
and then
Yeah.
Iowa State as a 6, and then VCU is a 12.
Iowa State is a 6th.
Dude,
Wow.
are you
All
tripping?
right.
What
All
were you
right.
trying to say, bro?
I mean, this. I'm just saying, there's gonna be a lot of upsets for that to happen. That bracket to come together.
I mean, your bracket, which by the way you just made like 20 seconds ago, doesn't sound that good either.
Whoa! Take that back.
Which, by the
I
way, nah,
I got three
I would
top
like to point
seeds.
out, I told this man, make sure you make your bracket before the show. And moments before we started, he's like, hey, I'm going to make my bracket. And I'm like, I'm gonna bust a Red Foreman and shove my foot up your ass.
Whoa,
And
that's
then,
crazy.
and then he comes in saying he's going to pick Alabama as his winner, which still sounds baffling for me to say that Alabama even has Alabama basketball. You got to be kidding me, bro. Which, according to ESPN's description for the number one seeding, the Tide have been rolling. As Alabama may be the nation's most complete team, their offense is paced by freshman Brandon Miller, and their defense frustrates opponents, resulting in the lowest field goal percentage against. Their rim protectors, Charles Bioko and Noah Clowney, are there to grab all those rebounds. There isn't one specific flaw, but foul trouble and turnovers have been an issue in their rare losses. I don't know, Danny. Does this Alabama basketball team sound like a contender to you?
I picked not from watching experience or the eye test or anything like that. I just picked out of sheer psychic energy. I read the name, I looked at the seating, I looked at the matchup, and this is what I came up with. All right. What look, when I get that 75 grand, I'm sharing none of it with you because of this. None of it.
All right,
You hear?
bet. You're not gonna. Oh, okay. All right. I see how it is. You're just getting retaliation because I put you on the spot. Which, nah, screw that. I'll put you on the spot all day, every day. Especially because my bracket looks very, very different from your bracket. Because apparently you agree with the other 70% of people who made their bracket on ESPN's bracketology. Which, by the way, I have. Look, the only difference between my Final Four and everyone else is that no, excuse me. The only similar thing from my Final Four and the ESPN's final bracket is that I have Purdue in there, in which the Final Four they have Alabama going up against Purdue, and they only give Purdue 30%. So
Wow.
I don't think it's that bad. I don't think that's bad. It's just that I don't think it's very rare that the top teams in the March Madness and the NCAA go to the Final Four or even get near to the Final Four.
That's true. There's always an upset, like round one, round two.
Yeah, of
That's true.
course. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know who you have in the beginning. I mean, like I could read you off some of my people. Like,
Yeah,
would
go
you
ahead.
say you had? Did you say you had Texas,
I had
Alabama?
Texas, Alabama, Duke, and Kansas.
Okay, I remember back in the day, I used to be hella into like Kansas, but I have them losing to VCU because I think
You have
VCU.
Kansas losing to VCU.
Well, yeah, I have VCU beating where are they at?
So you have VCU beating
UConn.
UConn.
Yeah,
Okay. Wow.
and then
So I took UConn over VCU, and then I took Kansas over UConn.
yeah, I got Kansas versus VCU, and then VCU beating Kansas, and then VCU beating Northwestern.
Wow, you picked Northwestern to come out of the West like that?
Yeah, they're playing TCU. Northwestern's a 7, TCU's a 6. They're both should be evenly matched. And I don't know if you know this, but Northwestern is a basketball school as well. So I
Yeah,
don't know,
but
bro.
I
Would
just
you
I don't think you believe in the dream story that Gonzaga would not come out of that bottom bracket.
Gonzaga are they even in here? You're tripping.
Yeah, they are
Let me see.
against Grand Canyon. That's an easy win.
Let me see where they at. Da. Let me go back into
Yeah, on
my
your
my
bracket,
bracket.
it should be either.
I know it's 'cause I'm on my phone. That's why I'm looking at it right here.
Oh,
That's why. So it looks a little bit different for me. I know
what's
you're
the
looking at
bottom
it.
right of the bracket?
I know mine's should be all the way at the bottom. Here we go.
Yep.
Gonzaga versus Grand Canyon. Yeah, and then I have Gonzaga losing to TCU.
Oh, that's crazy.
What do you
Oh,
mean?
that's crazy. That's
Bro,
crazy. Gonzaga's got that
either
dog in them.
TCU's either gonna play ASU or I think was in Nevada. Did you say Gonzaga's got that dog in them? Yeah, I know Gonzaga
Yeah,
historically has been good, but I had to pick an upset somewhere, and
yeah,
Gonzaga's only a 3.
man. They almost had a Cinderella story last year, man.
Okay, yeah, that was last year, bro. Check. Well, I mean, you never know. Like, all right, look. What people have to understand as well. Just because you get to the big dance doesn't mean you're ready for the dance, and
Yeah,
that's
that's
true for
true.
every sport. It doesn't matter
Yep.
if it's tennis, volleyball, wrestling.
Yeah, and I
If
think
you
it's
show up into the
especially
playoffs,
true.
if you show up into the playoffs not prepared, you're gonna get fucked. And what's gonna
I think
happen?
it's
You're gonna
especially true in NCAA, especially for March Madness. Like these teams, as soon as you get like 1, 2 wins rolling, like the pressure multiplies exponentially, and all of a sudden you're just sitting on stress and stress. Every shot that you miss or make just builds and builds and builds. If you're not ready for that pressure, you're never gonna make it out.
no, yeah. I mean, it's true. I mean, in every sport, like I said, like the playoffs are a different animal. That's because it's all the season, and it's like people that are desperate. That desperation kicks in, and if you're not prepared for the people's desperation, or if you don't have anything, not even desperation, eagerness to win or to, you're you're playing really super duper physical, or you're thinking with your mind. You're not overthinking it. You're just committing and being like, okay, here are our strengths, here are our weaknesses. Let's try to do X, Y, and Z, and that's how we'll get to where we want to go. So, I mean, that's why I mean it's all what I mean. Also, we're all just trying to betting on some goofy bracket at the end of the day as well. So it is kind of a
Yeah,
crapshoot. So
yeah. I mean, this bracket at the end of the day really is a lottery. Like even the top stats guys never win it. Like it's normally people who win it are just people guessing blind at the end of the day because there's so much chance to all this.
hey, you mean like how you did?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is my quick pick six or what is it? What are the lottery daily three whatever.
Quick pick. Yeah.
Quick pick.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Oh, dang, it's like the racing something. But yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, yeah, it's whatever.
But
But
yeah,
yeah, Robert, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit more about the top seeds around the NCAA?
the number one seeds. Yeah.
Yeah,
I know I saw Houston was another popular pick. That people were looking at. They were number one in the Midwest. Houston, according to ESPN's description, Houston is an elite, well-rounded squad and a popular pick to go deep. Um, AAC Defensive Player of the Year Jamal Sheed is one of the nation's best defensive stoppers, and the Cougars' defense can shut down any opponent. Offensively, they dominate the interior game and get a high proportion of their points inside. Foul trouble and free throw shooting are problems, but the Cougars enter with expectations of another Final Four run. So Houston, another big football school, now transitioning to as a basketball school. I do remember, yeah, they made a good run last year. Let's see how they carry that experience from the year prior and put it into this year. Who knows? Maybe they'll prove me wrong and get into the final game. I don't know. What do you think about this Houston squad?
yeah. I have not seen them play. I think the only team that I saw play so far has been I watched Kansas and I watched Kentucky
Okay.
play, and Kentucky looks really nice. I'll say that. Kentucky looks real nice. Kansas, they're struggling to keep control of the ball. They're a little high on turnovers, but yeah, I think these top seeds, just seeing like a couple clips of them, and not watching a full game, um, they're top seeds for a reason.
Oh, okay. Yeah, speaking of Kansas, also number one seed in the West, the Jayhawks are looking for their second straight national championship. Despite a loss in the Big 12 championship game, the Jayhawks have one of the most talented offenses in the country when healthy, led by Jalen Wilson, Taquan Harris Jr., Bradley Dick, and Kevin McCullough Jr. The path to repeat won't be easy, but Bill Self's team has what it takes to make it there if it's their core plan to play to their capabilities. So I know I forgot. I always did forget last year. Yeah, I think I did it by myself. I didn't talk about them last year winning because yeah, after all these years of me saying, oh yeah, Kansas is a good basketball team, and the one year that I actually don't really pay attention, they finally win it. So kind of coinkydink, I guess. But I guess my love for Kansas has semi dwindled down. Moving on, another number one. My number one that I have making it to the Final Four. Number one in the East is Purdue. They're led by Big Ten Player of the Year Zach Edey. The Boilermakers are playing standout basketball and entering the tournament. They rank as one of the top teams in the nation in adjusted offense and defensive efficiency. They have a high rebounding rate on both ends of the court and make a high percentage of their 2-pointers and free throws. They do tend to struggle forcing turnovers, which has hurt them at times during the regular season. But Edey, leading the charge for the Boilermakers, should have no problem making noise in the big dance. So, yeah, hopefully for my bracket, Purdue goes fairly deep. And, yeah, maybe I'll be the one. I'll be the breadwinner between the two of us, Danny.
Yeah, I hope for your sake.
Well, I hope
You
for
win
your
that
sake.
money.
Well, I'm not expecting to win money. I'm just trying to prove you wrong.
Well, all right. Okay, then I hope for my sake then.
Well, exactly. Because now we have a little bit of a competition here because I can't believe you have basically all the good teams going to the final. I'm like, dude, what the
Yeah,
hell
I
are you talking
know.
about? You're tripping. But yeah, me and Danny both made our brackets on ESPN's, which is the bracketology. And yeah, if you guys are interested, go ahead and make a bracket on there and join in on the fun, join in on the guessing game. But yeah, well, I know you, like I said, you have a lot of number ones and higher seeds. Who do you think right now in the tourney, just looking at the bracket, is going to be like an underdog trying to break their way into the Final Four?
An underdog that makes it through. That's a great question. Boise State might be literally a dark horse that comes through. Out of the West. In the East, man, I mean, Vermont. I don't know how they even got here, but maybe Vermont.
I mean, Vermont's a basketball school, so
Yeah, they are, but they're typically such a small school that they're not able to draw talent and like 5-star recruits and whatnot.
I mean, you never know.
Yeah.
But like I said, they're a basketball school, so they have experience in these
Let's say
situations.
from the Midwest. Man,
I don't know.
I don't think anyone under 10 has a chance in the Midwest.
You don't think so? I
That's not
mean,
really a. That's not
there's
really an upset.
Howard.
No.
I mean, they would. I mean,
Howard
they're
in the
playing
Midwest,
Kansas, but
yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't think they have a chance.
oh, okay. I mean, I
Yeah,
was gonna
so I
say
don't think
Saint.
any underdogs from the Midwest.
I was gonna say maybe
What do you
Saint
think?
Mary's.
St. Mary's
Yeah.
is. Wait, where? I don't even see St. Mary.
What do you mean? They're playing VCU
In the Midwest?
Yes.
VCU. That's in the West.
Oh, the West. No, excuse me. Yeah.
Who? No, I don't think any team under 10 in the Midwest has a chance. We got Colgate.
Yeah,
have
I
Penn
don't
State at
think so
10.
either. The
Teams
toothpaste
yeah, see,
company.
come on. Yeah. Come on. Not a
Sorry.
sponsor. And in the South,
Hey.
you know what? I'll take UCSB just because they're a California State school.
Oh my gosh. Oh, not even
Come on.
USC. Oh, not even UCLA.
No.
Come on,
Come
bro.
on,
You're
man.
tripping.
No,
That-
neither of them accepted me. What do you want from me? I applied. I didn't get in. I
Oh,
resent that.
shut up. Shut up. I applied to one of those schools. They didn't accept me either. You don't see me having a hissy fit.
No, I'm not. But any chance that I have to hold a grudge, excuse me, any chance that I have to hold a grudge, I'm gonna hold it.
Oh, shut up.
My cousin went to USC. Go Trojans.
That's cool. I know like 3
But she
people
option went to UCLA.
Bruh.
She went to USC for med school, so she double dips there.
That's cool. Hey man, as long as you're getting an education, fool. If you're not focusing on football or basketball, you have no reason to be going into any of those disagreements,
into those rivalries and whatnot.
Yeah, more or less. But yeah, I don't know. Is there anything else that we haven't put in here? Let me see.
I don't think so.
I think the only thing we have, and we only have a couple more minutes on our topic anyway. Danny, what is your fondest memory as a child or recently, whenever your fondest memory of March Madness?
March Madness. There's a couple of when my sister got into Georgetown, every year trying to see if Georgetown was in the bracket. That was pretty fun. Um, I think I remember watching really closely um, the year Anthony Davis was going through, and there was also that Louisville. That was the Cinderella story that year. Louisville coming out and upsetting multiple times, higher seeded teams. That was a fun tourney that year. And then, yeah, just last year, Gonzaga, there was a bunch of buzzer beater, a bunch of upsets. It was a pretty magical year last year as well. Yeah. What about you, Robert?
I think mine goes back to like one of the first times I think one of the first times I made a bracket was, I think, 7th, 8th grade. Um, and seeing VCU make it all the way, which was weird because I didn't really, like, I knew about Cinderella teams, but I'd only ever heard of it because they would always show highlights. Oh, George Madison made it all the way in like 2004. I'm like, we're in 2011, 2012. What am I supposed to do with this piece of information? And then finally VCU makes it to like the Final Four. And I think, if I remember correctly, they had two people have VCU. I think they had, no, well, not just VCU, but two correct brackets with VCU in it. And I think they called one of the guys, and he was on ESPN because they called him like, dude, how's it feel? He's like, dude, this is crazy. But yeah, I think it's probably one of my favorite memories. I remember, yeah, repping Kansas for a while. I was like, well, USC sucks at basketball. And I think that year, as one of those years as well, maybe like 5th or 6th grade, they had Burley snuck in there. I think they did the play-in game, and then they lost like Michigan State. So I'm hoping they beat Michigan State now. They've had a couple of good runs this past couple of years with the Mobley brothers, and they got that new head coach that they got from Florida Gulf Coast. He's been doing a good job with that program, turned it around for them, made them at best a top 10 team in the country. So let's see where USC goes from here now. But yeah, the VCU thing was kind of a big deal.
Yeah, that's awesome, Robert. If you guys have any memories of March Madness, go ahead and leave them in the comments. Share your brackets with us. Who do you guys have taking it all? Leave your comment anywhere. We'll find it. Instagram. Leave it on the YouTube. Yeah, join in on the fun.
If you're on Twitter and you see us posting about it, make sure you comment and be like, hey, I think this team is going to win. Or here's a link to my bracket. You guys are idiots. This is my bracket.
Oh, yeah, please.
I know. I'm going to be like, I'll be like, bet, bro. Canaz, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, this is all just for fun. We're in no way very knowledgeable of college basketball. Like I said, we're just doing this for the he's and the ha's and having a good time. Which I'm surprised we even got through a good couple minutes of doing basketball, Danny. College basketball.
Yeah. Should we move on to your favorite topic?
No, yeah, of course. I mean, yeah. Do you have anything else to say? That's it. We're good.
No, I think that's it.
All right, cool.
I think we're all talked out until the first results come through, and
all
of our brackets are broken.
I know, probably they are. As of this recording, they're probably already broken.
Yeah, they're probably getting broken right now.
I'm just waiting for it. Yeah, I'm trying to make sure my team gets there. But yeah, thank you everybody. Moving on now, we're gonna go to some footy, which is not just going to be MLS this time around. Okay, guys. So for this week's soccer topics, what's the S? 2 S's at the end, like a S and like a parentheses. That's how like topics is, cause it's a lot kind of. But first, of course, we got to go through the MLS, which I know Danny did his homework, which he did not forget to do, which hopefully he did. Cause if not, it's Red Foreman time again. But before that,
oh sure, I definitely did.
We're just gonna look through some scores. We had Atlanta at Charlotte, which ended 3-0. Vancouver and Dallas ended 1-1. Cincinnati, surprising, I would say semi-upset. Cincinnati defeated Seattle 1-0. It was a home game, however, but still they beat the mighty Seattle. DC and Orlando tied 1-1. The game that I was looking forward to this past weekend, New York City and Miami. New York took that 1-0 at Yankee Stadium, in which my girlfriend saw me watching the highlights, and she said, why does the field look weird? And I said, it's a baseball field. And she said, ill, gross. It looks weird. I don't even want to look at it. And I said, I know, right? Why did they don't have their own stadium yet? And I proceeded to explain to her why they don't have a stadium, in which they don't have a stadium because apparently the Yankees want a parking structure, but there's already a parking structure and they would have to tear it down or some bullshit. And now they don't want to pay for that other parking structure that exists. So that's why they don't have a stadium. But I digress. Thank you for my TED Talk. Moving on. Philadelphia defeated Chicago 1-0 at Subaru Park. Toronto. Wait, no, that's not right. They didn't play at home. What the hell? That's weird. That's wrong. They play at Chicago. All right. Anyways, they put that wrong on their website. Anyways, Toronto tied 1-1 with Columbus. Toronto was up 1-0 for most of the game. And then Columbus came back with about 10 minutes left in the game to tie it up. Fun fact, Danny, they had a snowfall. So right before the game started, there was just snow all over the field. But that was not just our only snow game of the day. Going down to Children's Mercy Park in Kansas City, where the LA Galaxy traveled, the game ended 0-0, in which Jonathan Bond, the Galaxy goalkeeper, finished with 11 shots saved, almost tying his 12-shot block record. So his first clean sheet of the season. Up north, with another snow game in Minnesota, New York traveled up there. Game ended 1-1 at Allianz Field. Nashville defeated Montreal 2-0. Salt Lake lost to Austin 2-1, in which Austin, I have a gripe with you, so we'll get into that later. Portland lost to St. Louis, in which St. Louis won 2-1 in Providence Park, shockingly upsetting, in my opinion, Portland. And then rounding out Saturday night's lineup was Colorado at San Jose, in which San Jose won 1-0. And then Sunday, the lone game, showcase game at BMO Stadium in downtown LA. LAFC defeated the New England Revolution 4-0. But yeah, that rounds up the score lines for the week in the MLS. That was a pretty good grasp of games that we had. Like I said, the Miami New York game was going to be interesting. I was able to watch a little bit of the Atlanta Charlotte game, in which Atlanta just manhandled Charlotte. I believe what's his name, Wiley, had the 2 goals, had that brace, which was good for him, for the young man. The Columbus-Toronto game, you expected Columbus to somewhat come out swinging, but Toronto hung on for the tie. I think down in Nashville with the Montreal game, I think, that game could have ended 0-0, but Nashville was able to squeeze in those 2 goals in the end. And then, like I said earlier, St. Louis, I was expecting them to lose because they're playing Portland, an established MLS team in the league. But I guess St. Louis is for real because they got 3 wins under their belt as an expansion team. So good on them. And yeah, LAFC just keeps on winning, squashing the New England Revolution 4-0. So good on them. Danny, what games were you able to watch this past weekend, or anything?
I watched all of them.
And how is that possible?
You know, it's like in the Matrix, when he gets overloaded with all the information. Like, he's like, what? He comes out of the chair and he's like, what? What the heck's going on? It's like an information overload. He's taken out of the simulation. So in that like flash scene, I got loaded with everything all at once. Just like the movie. Everything everywhere all at once. Winners of the Oscars. But
Short round.
sometimes I overload it. Just too much information leads to no information. So I watched everything, but I was able to retain nothing.
Alrighty then, I guess.
As Smash Mouth said.
All right. But yeah, your Columbus Crew, Danny, were struggling out there, and they were able to get that tie and go at the end. So good on for them. But yeah, I think that kind of does it for the MLS portion. Unless you have anything else to add, which next time I'll make sure you watch something and you come back with.
I will watch one game.
You don't have to watch a game. I just need you to watch highlights.
Sure. I'll
Hey.
watch the next Columbus Crew highlight
All right, all
highlight
right.
reel.
But yeah, still sticking within the MLS round, we have CONCACAF Champions League, in which whichever teams I listed last week competed. We had Austin, Philadelphia, Orlando, um, where are you at? Vancouver. We had LAFC, uh, Austin. Come on, guys, you guys can't be doing this. So Austin went down to Haiti, where they played a team called Violet or Violetta. And Danny, I kid you not, this field looked like a high school field, and Austin went down there and lost 3-0.
No, was it that sloppy?
It was sloppy. They even had an own goal.
Oh, come on,
Yeah,
man.
dude. Like, and then as of this recording, I was able to see the second leg in which Austin was able to get 2 goals, and they were just trying and struggling to get that third goal to at least tie the game and go into penalties. Couldn't get it. But Danny, you want to know what's fucking crazy? So usually teams have at least a team of 20, 23 men on the roster. I don't know if these guys couldn't get their visas in check or their um their like visitation status like regulated, but they only had 3 subs.
What?
I kid you not. They didn't even have a backup
They
goalie.
had 3 subs. Oh my god.
Yeah, dude. So these
So they
guys
were
were
just
like,
dog tired, huh?
yeah, dude. Yeah, and these guys were these guys were low key flopping around everywhere. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm just like, dude, if I was someone on the Austin team right now, I would play a hard ball with them immediately. Immediately. Even if I get a yellow. Like, dude, you're losing by a goal. Just start hacking a shack, dude.
Yeah, you just
You,
gotta start taking them out.
dude, you could blow air at them and they'll fall over.
Yeah.
But if you actually foul them, like, dude, like you'll tear them apart, which they didn't do, and this Violet team got the dub and shocking the Austin crowd. So good job, Austin. I mean, it was their debut in Champions League, but come on, guys, you guys got hella money. I don't know. It was very baffling though, but good on these guys, I guess. I don't know. Let's see how they do against. I think they're gonna either play Leon or Tauro FC, in which I don't know if you recognize one of those teams, but Leon, who plays in Liga MX, I don't think they're gonna play with any of that bullshit. So yeah, good luck, guys. That's all I gotta say. We also had Philadelphia and Alizan, which I believe they're from. Actually, I'm not even gonna guess where they're from. I believe Philadelphia was able to win that second leg 4-0 because they tied 0-0 in the first leg. Um, for the rest of the MLS sides, we had Vancouver, who we're just going to call it here. They played at home against Real España. They won 5-0. So I think that's done and dusted. Also in CONCACAF, we had LAFC versus Alajuelense, in which the game was tied 45 in the first 45 5-0. And then in the second half, Dennis Bouanga had a hat trick, winning the game 3-0 for LAFC, and now they return to LA for the second leg now. So for some of the games I haven't mentioned yet, make sure you go check out if they haven't played the second leg yet. But yeah. Oh, I almost forgot. Orlando tied with Tigres 0-0, so check out that second leg soon, okay, guys? Hopefully they now in Orlando's stadium get a point, because like I said, they were just playing on the socials. I was saying they were playing good old Orlando City soccer, which is play for the tie and hold on for dear life, and which is what I saw in those highlights. So let's see what happens with Orlando down there in South Florida, in mid Florida, excuse me. But yeah, Danny, have you watched any CONCACAF Champions League?
In fact, I've watched every single CONCACAF game this past week.
Oh, really?
Yes, I did. But
You're a fool.
again, information overload.
I feel like you're trying to tell me something. You're trying to tell me that I'm spitting out a bunch of information that it's hard to compute.
Oh no, no, this is all great information. Like, if I were ever to find a great program like Rambling Runoff and listen in, I would listen in every week for such a succinct summarization of every soccer game, every footy game that I could ever think of. A couple of other interesting topics. A little bit of here, a little bit of there. I would never stop listening to it.
Wow, Danny. I mean, I wouldn't say we break any news or explain anything shocking on our program, but wow, what very interesting insight you just told us.
Yeah, if there was a program out there that summarized a handful of topics that I was interested in the sports world and brought them all together in one place for a short hour and gave me a lot of interesting, points of view and discussion on that topic, I would listen for hours and hours on end.
You mean you would run on and ramble on forever?
Ramble, run on, listen to my eardrums burst, all of the above.
Wow, Danny, I really appreciate it. Oh, I almost did forget something. I mean, we're still talking about the MLS teams technically, but is it okay if I could run through some of the this weekend's fixtures? Is that okay, Danny?
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
We
Give
got
some people to look forward to.
uh, LAFC is traveling to Seattle and Lumen Field. Um, Portland will be going out to Atlanta. We got Montreal and the Philadelphia Union. You can catch that game in Montreal. Um, Nashville is headed to New England and Gillette Stadium. Uh, Red Bull New York Red Bull, whatever you want to call them, will be playing Columbus at home. New York City and DC, in which it would be at Yankee Stadium, of course, so cover your eyes. Um, Charlotte will be going to Exploria Stadium, which is a regional derby. Toronto and Miami will be going head to head at BMO Field, Eastern Conference matchup. At Soldier Field, we got Chicago versus Cincinnati. We got Dallas against Kansas City at Toyota Stadium. Houston against Austin. I guess you could say a local interstate derby as well at Shell Energy Stadium down there in Houston. St. Louis playing another home game against San Jose. Let's see how they favor against a lower tier team, in my opinion, with San Jose Earthquakes coming into town. Colorado plays against Minnesota at Dick's Sporting Goods Park. And then rounding up the showcase for this week's games, which, it's a full on soccer Saturday. Look at that. We will finish with Vancouver Whitecaps headed out to the Los Angeles Galaxy. And you can find most of these matchups on Apple TV and MLS Season Pass. Some of these games will be free, so you just got to see which ones are free. The only game that I'm seeing on the list that's currently not only on Apple will be the LAFC and Seattle matchup. So, yeah, make sure you guys go catch those games if you're interested in more MLS games as well. But yeah, I think now we finished the MLS portion of the show. Do you have anything to say in regards to any of those matchups, Danny?
Absolutely not.
Why not?
Information overload leaves you with a lot of decisions, remember?
Oh my gosh. Okay.
And at the end of the day, it's tough to make those decisions after you've already cut so many teams inside of your March Madness bracket. So, no comment on this week's MLS.
All right. I see how it is. But yes, thank you for that insight, Danny. I'll just say the LAFC Seattle matchup looks good because LAFC beat Seattle in their first installment of their, what do you want to say, of them living in the league. So, yeah, that should be a good matchup. Atlanta and Portland, a rematch from, I think, 2017's final MLS Cup. I want to see how that Toronto-Miami game, I don't know, it looks good. Anything with Miami looks kind of good. And then I want to see how St. Louis keeps going. And then one of the other teams that technically had a bye week, the LA Galaxy, let's see how they do at home against the Vancouver Whitecaps if they can get their first. Well, this is their first home game now, so let's see how they do now. But yeah, I think that's everything for the MLS now officially, because now we're going to move across the pond in our soccer coverage very quickly. An update on the UEFA Champions League, Danny. Danny, have you been watching UEFA Champions League?
I've been watching every game of the UEFA Championship League.
Oh, really? Even though when
Yes,
the
sir.
games are on, you're at work?
Yeah, you know what? Here's a secret for anyone who is able to watch on their phone. If you open up any of the streaming platforms, specifically the sports ones on either Mozilla Firefox or Google Chrome, you can go ahead and open it up, big screen it on your phone, close it. It'll close into a mini player, and when you lock your phone, you're able to listen to the game while not watching it and hear the audio, kind of like podcast form ish. And you're able to observe the game while you're, let's say, at work with the phone in your pocket, listening to the broadcast. So check it out, try it out. There you go, Robert.
Wow, Danny, what exquisite information. But speaking upon the actual games that have been going on, um, we do have some people moving on into the final eight. I know I alluded to in one of our past episodes some of the games that were going on, which I will now kind of talk about now. In which, let me see, who do we start with first? Who should we choose to highlight on this portion of UEFA Champions League? All right, I guess we'll start here. Benfica advances from the round of 16, defeating Club Rouge 7-1 on aggregate. Chelsea, coming back against Dortmund, were able to win on aggregate 2-1 at home, which was somewhat of a shocker for me. I expect Chelsea to just start swinging on all cylinders, but hey, better late than never. We also had Bayern Munich defeating PSG 3-0 on aggregate, and I'll get back to that in a bit. We had AC Milan defeating Tottenham Hotspur 1-0 on aggregate because Tottenham just could not get anything going for them. So unfortunately, they got bounced out of the tournament kind of early. Inter Milan defeated FC Porto 1-0 on aggregate, in which their second game ended 0-0. So Milan kind of holding on for dear life. And then recently, as of this recording, Man City dismantled RB Leipzig 8-1 on aggregate, winning 7-0 in the second leg at home against RB Leipzig. So good on them. The next couple of fixtures that have not happened as of this recording, we got Napoli versus Frankfurt, and then we got Real Madrid and Liverpool. Currently, Napoli is leading 2-0 on aggregate over Frankfurt, which I think Napoli should move on to the next portion of the tournament. And then Real Madrid, who is winning 5-2 on aggregate against Liverpool, now playing at the Real Madrid's home stadium. I think Real Madrid is going to hold on for dear life again, because I highly doubt that Liverpool, who started out hot 2-0, is going to be able to control this Real Madrid offense that, for some reason, will just kind of run around in circles for like 20, 30 minutes, and then out of nowhere just score like 5 goals. So, I don't know. Like how you were saying, Danny, the professional sports people don't even know anything that's going to happen. So hopefully we see a turn of events here for Liverpool if they so wish to continue on their UEFA Champions League journey. What do you think about that, Danny?
Wow, that is such a succinct summary of the UEFA Championship League. I think it's just the greatest summary to ever exist.
It's just Champions League. It's not Champions Super League. Check yourself.
Championship League is
Oh,
what I said.
okay. I thought you said
Sir.
Super League. I'm like, there's no Super League. That's a different tournament.
Come on. Championship League.
But yeah, one thing I would like to point out that I written down here, yeah, PSG and Messi are out of the Champions League, which could lead to Messi leaving the squad, due to the fact that he rumored to have resigned and he has not wanted to resign and probably looking for a new place of employment, especially with the fact that Neymar is out for the rest of the season and probably one of the benefactors on why they lost this past game, unfortunately. So we'll have to wait and see what they decide to do, because if Messi leaves, PSG is probably going to be in a hole. And I mean, What are they gonna do? Just keep winning the French league again? All right, cool. But I feel like if Messi leaves, they're gonna start losing a lot of assets because I think what the team thought was gonna happen was that we're gonna sign all these guys. We're gonna have Di Maria come in, or we were gonna have Di Maria before. We're gonna have Di Maria. We're gonna have Ramos. We're gonna have Messi. We're gonna have Neymar, and we're gonna have Mbappe. And Di Maria dips, and then Neymar is coming in out of the lineup. You have disruption with Mbappe, and then Messi. You're just expecting him to turn it on, which he has, but still, you still need to build a good team in which those four guys, I'll just say, Ramos, Messi, Neymar, Mbappe, just couldn't get it going. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens with Messi's decision in the summer. Okay, if not, I have a feeling he will sign with Inter Miami. So yeah. Dan, do you have anything to say upon Messi's sudden departure from the Champions League tournament?
It's another decision. It's LeBron going to the Heat and then coming back to Cleveland. It's a ground shifting decision, and I mean, sometimes you're just not happy where you're at. You know, when people aren't happy of their place of employment, they look for other jobs. They play the field, pun intended, and find the best offer. So if one of the biggest soccer players out there currently to play the game wants to see what his options are, I say go for it. Why not?
No, because what most of the pundits are saying, like if he goes to the MLS and plays in Miami, this will be like the second coming of Pele. So doesn't sound like a bad trade off.
No, I mean anything to make sports news headlines, right? So we can talk about it.
I mean, if Messi comes, everyone's gonna want to go see him, and people are gonna want to be like Messi. So
oh
no,
man, it's gonna break the market down there in Florida.
Oh no, yeah, dude. I mean, it's gonna break every market because it's fucking Messi.
Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah.
But yeah. Unless you have anything else to add, I think that rounds up our soccer talk for today.
No, yeah, I think it is.
Okay, all right. Then we're going to be moving on to something that you do kind of know more about. In this week's warm-up topic, we'll be talking the possible and semi-confirmed matchup between Fury and
Tyson Fury.
Fury. Yeah, I'm like, what's his name? Tyson Fury and Oleksandr Usyk, which may or may not be happening. But
the two big boys.
Oh yeah, the two big boys. Oh, they're huge, dude. How tall is Fury? He's like a monster. I'm pretty sure
I think he's like 6'3".
Yeah, it's pretty tall, Danny. But yeah.
Taller.
The fight
6'9".
He's 6'9". Okay, yeah. And how tall is Usyk?
Usyk is 6'3".
Okay, still pretty tall. But yeah. According to their social media post that went up this past week, Fury and Oleksandr Usyk are planned to have a bout in London at Wembley Stadium on April 29th. If this is true, we should be in for a doozy of a fight, considering I think this has been in talks for like a while now. I know a while back I had my guest host at the time, we had Jonathan Gaddis on here, and I was talking to him about Fury's latest fight, in which he was like, "Yeah, I'm about to retire," and he would say he was in a bad spot, and it really like kind of touched me. He's like, "Yeah, like before boxing, I was like in a hole, I was in the shits, and look where he is now. He's like pound for pound the king of boxing. I mean, he is the Gypsy King, right, Danny?"
Yes, he is.
But yeah, after both sides notified the WNBA that they have agreed on the terms, the president, Gilberto Mendoza, told ESPN this past Friday that this fight should be going on. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that is official. In which, Danny, would you like me to read what this all started from?
Yes, it all started from a social media tiff between the two. The two fighters talk via social media, with Fury saying, quote, "If you want to make some real money, come and fight the Gypsy King. I will say, for every day from today that you linger, mess around, I'm going to deduct 1% from the 30%. Sign the contract. Get your money. Get fucked up. And Tik Tok." Unquote.
And
And
he's
Usyk
not
followed it
talking
up.
he's not talking about TikTok dancing either, by the way.
No.
But what did Usyk follow up with? Please tell us.
Usyk followed it up with a little statement, quote, "Hey, greedy belly, I accept your offer. 70-30 split to fight on April 29th at Wembley," unquote. Usyk wrote on Instagram, quote, "But you will promise to donate £1 million to Ukraine immediately after the fight. And for every day of your delay, you will pay 1% from your purse to the Ukrainian people. Deal?" So
End
Usyk is
quote. End
really,
quote.
end quote, sorry. Usyk is really stepping up the ante and putting a little bit of philanthropism in there, for his people, for his Ukrainian people.
What do you think about that, Danny? How does that make you feel?
Yeah, I mean, that's good on him. The people of Ukraine are huge in the boxing community. Um, I don't know why a portion of the fight wouldn't already be sent to to support the Ukrainian fight. I'm sure a portion of Usyk's earnings are going to be doing that. But yeah, I mean, the fight in general would be a huge match. And you know what? April 29th is so close. I'm usually by this time, if things aren't signed, it's not going to happen. April 29th is it's like a month and 2 weeks away.
Yeah, it's not
So,
that long.
I mean, I don't know if the venue was booked ahead of time. Tickets are being sold already. Like, this is like crazy short,
Yeah, it's kind of last second. Now that you say that, yeah, it's kind of last second. The hell?
Yeah, this is not just last night. This is like things should have been done 3 weeks ago. You know,
It's more than 3 weeks
for
ago.
yeah, exactly. For I'm saying just to have the tickets be ready to be sold. Um, like what 70-30 split. If you don't sell the tickets, in time, where's the money gonna come from? Come on.
I mean, this is boxing. It's a little bit of a
I
different
mean, it's pay
animal.
per view. Come on, but
Yeah, I know pay per
you know what I mean.
view.
But
If it's Wembley Stadium, it's historical. A lot of people go there,
yeah,
and I mean,
but you know
Gypsy
what I
Kings
mean.
had a lot of good fights there too. So
Like you need to have the promotion. You need to have everything to build the fight up, the weigh-in and everything. Like half of it is the anticipation of the fight. Like even if no one's talking about it for like a month, having it something that people in the know talk about or think about for a month is part of it.
something to look forward
And
to.
it gets those odds up. It gets the cash flow to the event up and down. So I'm surprised that if this fight is going to happen at April 29th, I have a feeling it's going to be delayed because it's so close. This is going to be a real push to have it on that date in that stadium.
No, yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you because yeah, it's very very last second. So yeah, I just realized that. I don't know why, but just to go over some little stats that I have written here in regards to the bout. Um, Fury and Usyk are on the verge of the biggest challenges of their illustrious career, a matchup poised to crown boxing's first undisputed heavyweight champion in the four-belt era. Fury, currently 33-0-1 with 24 KOs, stayed busy in December with a 10th round TKO of Derek Chisora to retain his heavyweight title. After Fury stopped Dylan White in 6 rounds last April, he announced his retirement, but it lasted only 4 months. On the other side of the ring, we have Usyk, who is 20-0 with 13 KOs, won the undisputed cruiserweight championship with a unanimous decision victory over Murat Gassiv in 2018, before he moved up to the heavyweight division in 2019. The Olympic gold medalist defeated Chisora in his second heavyweight fight before he signed for a bout with Anthony Joshua for 3 heavyweight titles. Usyk, who is now 36 years old, defeated Joshua via unanimous decision in September 2021 and retained his unified championship with a split decision win in the August rematch. The Southpaw is one of the most skilled boxers in the world, but also showed off his power against Joshua. He appeared on the verge of stopping AJ in the final round of the first fight. So, Danny, since apparently we kind of like doing predictions and updates at least a month before each fight nowadays, who do you think would be not victorious, but a better looking fighter in this bout?
Hmm. You know, we talk about the height a little bit. Fury definitely has the reach. I don't know what they would weigh in at, but I bet Fury's gonna weigh in over Usyk, whatever their goal weight is. Um, man, both of their hands are so quick. Um, I think Usyk might have it a little bit with technique. He's a little bit of a cleaner fighter. Fury does have that dog in him, though. Man, this is really tough. He really throws some heavy punches as well. You know what? I like the Ukrainian underdog. Just like Lomachenko. I'm unsure. But if Usyk has been fighting the front line, he's literally out for blood out there. I'm gonna give it to Usyk.
Wow. I mean, I think we might have to disagree there, Danny. I think the Gypsy
All right.
King is just going to be too much for him. I think the reach and the height is just one aspect of the fight that no one's going to be thinking about, in my opinion. And I don't know if you
Anthony
noticed.
Joshua was also really tall and really long.
That is also true. You know what? Yeah,
So,
that's also true. But I think
so
I don't
Alexander
think.
Usyk has already had some
Yeah, but I don't think
experience with a
Joshua
long, tall
punches
fighter.
hard like Fury.
Yeah, I mean that's also true.
So
But
I mean, I don't know about you, but just looking at the man, I mean, I have to look up. I have to stare into the sky just to look at this guy. If he were to come around my hood, so I think maybe I gotta give it to my guy Fury, who he's kind of won me over. So yeah, I would have to give it to Fury. I mean, I remember when we did do our coverage a while back with the Usyk. The Joshua fight? Usyk did put on a clinic. He was able to dismantle and pick out Joshua's weaknesses. So
oh yeah,
that would have to be his saving grace here, if he could figure out a tactic, a strategy to not just outbox but outthink Fury.
yeah. I mean, I think Usyk is one that's able to adapt really quickly as well. In the fight, he really looks for his opponent's strategy and looks for holes in defenses and whatnot. I feel like Fury is, he's not a dumb fighter. He's definitely still a smart fighter, but
Oh no, yeah, I'm not saying he's
I think
dumb. No, yeah, he's a
no,
really smart dude. When he
but I
talks,
think
he talks smart.
yeah, I think he does rely a little bit more on his brute force. The excuse me, Alexander Usyk does. Um, so I don't know. I mean, I want to give it to Usyk just because of his experience with Anthony Joshua. Um, and I feel like he's a little bit more of a tighter fighter. And I feel like that even in the heavyweight division, it really makes a difference if you're able to expend a little bit of the opponent's energy with head movement, and close the distance and eliminate that reach advantage. So I'm still giving it to Usyk.
All right. I mean, maybe in about a week or not a week, like maybe like in 2-3 weeks when the fight comes around, we kind of deep dive a little bit more into this and we can see what's up. What was the other fight we were talking about a while back? I already forgot. It was the Plant Benavides fight. Hey, maybe we could do just a two for
Yes,
one. We could do some boxing, couple minutes of Benavides Plant, and then
sure.
come back to Usyk and Fury.
Yeah, yeah. In the next week or so, let's do it.
No, yeah, let's do it. And shout out to the one person that loves boxing on here.
Big O, you know who you are.
But
I don't
yeah,
want to dox you with Big O.
Dan, do you have anything else to add in regards to this sudden bout that may or may not be happening?
Um, I mean, I hope it happens. But I mean, it's so close. And this is this might be one of the most anticipated fights of the year if it does go through. Um, to unite all four belts and have an undisputed heavyweight. It'd be an incredible fight. So I'm excited to see it.
Oh, okay. I mean, my thing is, it's for the 4 belts, but will they ever fight for it not in the UK? Because a lot of
I mean,
Fury's
yeah,
fights haven't been over there, and he's been against going to MGM. So let's see what happens there. 'Cause I feel like, yeah, if you bring it overseas to the US, it kind of ups the ante a little bit, in my opinion.
yeah. I mean, but home court advantage. Yeah, I think it's always going to be over there. And you can't really have it in the Ukraine right now. Um, so if you want it on a bigger stage, um, I think you'd have to really talk Fury or whoever, eventually after this, into really pushing for the biggest stage in the MGM. But I mean, I don't mind having it in Wembley. That's a huge stadium itself. And like you said, there's a lot of history there. Um, but I would just be excited to see the bout.
No, yeah, same. Hopefully, we could have a viewing party or something,
Yeah, that'd be fun.
a live stream. But
Yeah.
yeah. If you got nothing else to say, I think we're done with the warm up topic for the week, and we could jump into the rundown. How's that sound?
Let's start jogging.
All right. Oh, we're sprinting, Danny. What the hell are you talking about?
Oh, that's
So
right. I mean,
yeah,
well,
it's called the rundown, not the jog down.
all right. Get those knees up then.
But yeah. And this week's rundown, we got a lot of stuff, which we're just gonna try to fly by as fast as we can in some portions. In the NWSL, the Utah Royals will be making a return to the league, in which a couple years ago they were in existence. Now they weren't not in existence because they moved to Kansas, which was kind of a weird thing. But yeah, when they were around, the Utah Royals, they averaged like the second highest attendance in the league during its first 3 seasons, exceeding 11,000 fans per match. So yeah, I'm kind of excited to see where this goes because I think right now what the NWSL needs markets that people want to go to. So yeah, let's see how it happens. I don't think it's this season, but the next season. So hopefully, yeah, they do well. I think they're gonna be playing at America's First Stadium, where Real Salt Lake plays as well, which is where they were prior to moving. So yeah, hopefully they have a good time down there in Salt Lake. Up next, we also had a little bit more soccer news. The U.S. men's national team will compete in the All-State Continental Classico, in which this next matchup will kick off a new annual event bringing top-tier opponents from North and Central and South America. So their first opponent will be against their good old classic rival, Mexico, and that match will be taking place April 19th this year in Glendale, Arizona at 10 p.m. Eastern. You can catch that game on TBS, Telemundo, Universo, HBO Max, and Peacock. So that's the thing. So, but I'll just give my quick opinion, which is it's not during an international window, so you're most likely going to see a lot of backups and not reserve, but more domestic players probably playing in this game. So look out for that when it comes around. Switching it up from world football to tackle football, we are 30 days away from kickoff of the USFL season. If you guys are interested in the USFL, please let us know in the comments somewhere. Where do you think, what team will you be supporting when the USFL finally kicks off? Also, in the tackle football realm, the XFL is already halfway through its season, which is kind of shocking to say considering I feel like it just started yesterday. But they are, according to their Instagram, we're almost halfway through the season already. Haven't joined us for a game yet? Don't miss your chance. Winky face. In which I'll read you some of the games. Week 5, they got on Thursday, March 16th. We got the Roughnecks against the Sea Dragons. Then over the weekend, we got the Defenders and the Battlehawks, the Guardians and the Vipers. And then the last game of the weekend on Sunday will be the Renegades and the Brahmas. So, yeah, go check that out if you guys are interested in a lot of tackle football. The XFL, most of the games are on FX or ESPN programming. So, yeah. Also, Danny, your boy in NASCAR, William Byron, goes back to back, bro, winning the United Rentals 500.
Number
The last
24, baby.
There you go. The last time a guy with the number 24 won back to back, what his name was Jeff Gordon. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah, and that DuPont
Yeah, the
blue,
DuPont.
red, yellow
Yeah, dude. The shit was
24
sick.
car.
Hey, fun fact,
Yeah.
I was Jeff Gordon for Halloween one year.
Were you really?
Yes, I was.
Zooming
Bet.
around in your flame retardant NASCAR suit?
Yeah, and my mom fucking made like she got a cardboard box and like painted it like his car. And then we
On the
just
car?
kind of
Oh,
like
that's awesome.
and then we strapped on like straps on the side so I could wear it and I was like Jeff Gordon.
Wow. What an amazing costume.
I know, right? Thanks, shout out to my mom for that.
Shout out to mom. Robert's mom.
Let me see. I'm trying to find. I just remember there was a stat that was floating around that caught my attention in regards to NASCAR. But Danny, while I'm looking for that, he brought out a big hat again.
Ooh, another big hat.
It's a different one because this time he wasn't
Foam
wearing.
hat?
Yeah, he wasn't wearing a Raptor sponsor. He had a what is this? Vaseline Trusted,
Vaseline.
like
What?
the oil company or whatever.
Yeah.
So when he came out of the car, he had a big ass blue hat. Dude, that's sick, huh? Let me see.
Yes.
Okay, oh, here, watch. Let me see.
see.
Okay, do you have your camera on?
Oh, I see it.
Okay.
Oh, not Vaseline, Valvoline.
Oh, Valvoline. Excuse me.
Valvoline. It's the company that does oil changes and stuff for you. My God, Vaseline.
My bad, bro. I couldn't see. 'Cause I was looking at the picture I was looking at. I had to zoom in.
That's funny.
And I was trying to say it on par and on point.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. I found
I
the
think
stat.
that was their main sponsor, Valvoline. Yeah.
I found the stat. The last time the number 24 won back-to-back races was 2007. And yeah, it was Jeff Gordon.
Man, that's awesome.
Dude, that was crazy. 2007. Where was I doing? I was like in third or fourth grade. That's wild.
2007. Yeah. Crazy.
But yeah.
6 years ago, yeah. Was that not seventh grade?
I said 2007.
Oh, 2000. Oh, that's 17. Oh,
Bro,
my
check
God.
yourself. Bro,
Yeah,
we
I'm
ain't that
checking
old.
myself.
Damn, bro.
Yeah, I know.
Hey. But yeah, good on William Byron getting the dub back 2 weeks in a row. Moving on now to the NFL with a little bit more breaking news. Jimmy Garoppolo has signed a 3-year deal with the Raiders. So honestly, I thought Jimmy was going to stay in San Fran. I thought he's been an excellent quarterback, although he has been injury prone. I guess they'll give it to the backup now because he did a really good job coming in. I don't know. I think Jimmy's a really good quarterback. I think he should complement the Raiders well. Hopefully, he fits into their style and they could gel, and the Raiders can get back to winning. Moving on, Jalen Ramsey has signed to the Miami Dolphins. The Colts have re-signed Matt Ryan. The Panthers have signed Andy Dalton. And then the Saints have signed Jameis Winston, who I believe was gone for a little while, but now they got him back. So good on them. Hopefully the Saints can turn it around. But yeah, there's been lots of more signings and departures. So if you guys are interested in that, make sure you go check it out. It's all on Instagram, Twitter, wherever on the socials. If you guys have any opinions on that, let us know as well. On Twitter, you can find us at Rambling Runoff. So hit us up there. I would also like to update everybody. As of this recording, Aaron Rodgers is still a Green Bay Packer. And done. And the last thing, Danny, you're going to close it out for us in this week's rundown in the NBA. So the stage is yours. What's popping in the NBA?
I mean, really, the only thing that's to talk about is the wide open West, the wild West. Yeah, I mean the games have been so up and down. All the teams are so close that even as of this recording, teams are moving up and down as we speak. I think since we last recorded, all the teams in the plane moved up and down 3 or 4 times. Dallas has since dropped from 6th to 9th, tying themselves with the Lakers and the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Timberwolves seem to be solidly in 7, but 2 losses by the Clippers could mean that they move up into 6th place. The Golden State Warriors have moved up to 5th place to tie themselves with the Clippers, putting them only 1.5 games behind the Phoenix Suns in 4th. And the Sacramento Kings, who were in 2nd place, have fallen to 3rd, and the Memphis Grizzlies reclaimed their 2nd place standing. So, I mean, the West is really wide open. I think last we talked, Portland was 12th. They were in a big tie with Utah and New Orleans. They have since fallen to 13th. One full game, game and a half behind New Orleans and Utah. So, things are looking really, really close in the West. It seems like Portland is gonna fall out unless they go on a quick win streak. They're gonna fall out of the play-in, and we've still got 5 teams, really, 6 teams that are still fighting for those 7 to 10 spots. But other than that, that's all I got. NBA wise, we can talk about all the other stuff surrounding the NBA another time. But I think that's all I got for the rundown.
All right, thank you, Danny. I appreciate it, man. But is that all you got for this week?
Yes, sir. Take us out.
All right, yeah. If that's everything, yeah, thank you for listening to Rambling Runoff. If you're listening on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. Also like the video as well. If you're listening on Spotify, please give us a follow. Give us a 5-star rating, of course. If you're on Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Anchor, aka Spotify for podcasters now, give us a like, follow, whatever is on there. If, like I said earlier, if you want, you could donate some dinero. Doesn't have to be a lot, but hey, anything we appreciate. We are, like Danny said in the beginning, we are a small podcast. We do our best. We do what we can. But if you guys can, here's the free options. If you like, follow us on Twitter at Rambling Runoff. Follow us on Instagram, Rambling Runoff as well. Sometimes we post on TikTok, so go check us out on there. If you're super duper serious, you can find us somewhere on Reddit. We do have a Reddit, which I just rediscovered. So go check us out on that if possible. But other than that, I've been your host, Robert Rios, for Danny Tan as well. We'll see you next time. Peace out.
Peace.
Woo!